Today's card project was originally designed to just feature foiling and ink blending, but it turned into my first ever fancy fold card. I've been making cards for quite a while now and have never done a fancy fold, so to see this card come together and what the fancy fold looks like, stick around. That video is coming up next. Here's a look at some of the products I'll be using today, and I have this bundle. It's called Hand-Picked Flowers, and this is a bundle from Gina K that comes with the stamps, the dies, and a coloring stencil to help add color. One of the things that's cool about getting dies from Gina K Designs is you get a little magnetic storage sheet, and this is really great for keeping your dies organized. Today, what I want to do, instead of using the stamps, I want to use the coloring stencils, the dies, and there are coordinating polyglaze foiling sheets. So I'm going to get my laminator set up, my fuse machine, and I'm going to cut some of these apart so that I can add foil before I add my color. I've gone ahead and heated up my fuse foiling system, and I cut two pieces apart here from this polyglaze sheet. This is going to be large enough to fit inside my carrier sheet, and so I'm going to just use a lovely sterling. I am a big fan of this particular color of foil, so I will take out a sheet, and then I'm going to cut this to be large enough to go over this entire piece. Next, before I put this in, and this is a little trick I learned from Gina, I'm going to flip my foil over and just go over it with a little clean Swiffer cloth, just to make sure there's no dust or debris, because there's dust and debris in this studio, let me tell you. And then I'm going to line this up right over the top. You want to make sure the shiny side is facing up. I will put this into the carrier sheet, and I'll send it through the fuse. All right, let it cool for just a second. I also have a little bit here that I will go ahead and cut to put right over this greeting. I just keep my fancy foils in these half pockets from Simon Says Stamp. They're very sturdy, and you can just drop all your foil in and they're good to go. All right, let's take this up, and well, it's just all gonna come off at once. Ooh, look at that, it's so pretty. Okay, so look at that beautiful shine. That, my friends, is a good shiny goodness. All right, I will run this through as well so that we have our greeting. And again, I'm just going to go like that on the dull side, go shiny side up, and again, run this through. All right, just let that cool for a second, and we will lift this off, and I will have my greeting. Oh, that's perfectly foiled. Look at that. If you don't have a laminator, of course, you can use the stamp set, and you could stamp and emboss to get the exact same shiny look. But I am going to pull some inks, and we're going to get set up to add color to these images. Actually, before I move on, I have, and I'll show you here so you can see the actual packaging. I have a pack of white polyglaze sheets. And when you have white polyglaze, you can see there's a shiny side on here, and you can tell that that's the side that has the polyglaze. You can actually take something like this, and you can transfer this. Let's see, let's do a little more wiping. You can transfer this right onto this guy like this. Now I'm going to trim off a little of the edges, and it'll make sense in a minute. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to put it in this. Let's see, how do I want to go? Yeah, this way, like that. And I'm going to run this through and transfer the image that remains onto this piece of polyglaze. So now as it comes out the back, we're getting a twofer. right? Because now you see the image that's going to be on here. Well, it's going to be all silver with a white outline. So as soon as this cools, I will reveal how this looks on the polyglaze. Then I can make a bonus card at the end and show you how that comes together. It's going to let this cool off. Then I'm going to lift up the sheet, right? Take this out. And I think that feels cool. I think I got the whole image too. And then when I peel this, look what happens. All of the foil comes off of this little sheet, and now I have a beautiful foil. It just looks crazy. I have a foiled piece that I can cut out and use just as, oh, hi, just as is. Now we'll add color to the other piece. I have pulled a set of color here. Let's see if I can flip it and hold them all together. I'm going to be going with an analogous color scheme, and what that means is we're just working with blues into purples, colors that follow one another on the color wheel, plus I will have greens for my greenery. But I think I will start here with, let's see, I think I'll go with the light orchid first, and I'll set these aside, and I'll talk you through what I'm doing. I'm going to speed this up a little as the color comes together. The nice thing about the foil is it will resist the ink, just like if you were to heat emboss, and then you can just wipe it off the surface if anything pools. I'm using Gina's little clever grip mat that has a pattern on one side and it sticks down and serves double duty to hold your paper in place. I cut these apart as well, just so I can focus on one thing at a time. So let's get started blending. These stencils are so easy to line up. That is one of the things I really appreciate about this particular set. And I'm going to come in with my lighter color first each time and keeping it very light, a very light hand. But I'm also going to be using the smaller brushes for the darker colors because these make it so easy to add depth where you want it. These flat heads on these brushes are perfect for this type of detail blending, and I love these brushes. I covet these brushes and I own these brushes. Now, here's the thing. I don't really know where the sun's coming from on this thing. I watched a live where Gina said once she has 13 different suns that come at any angle on what she's working on, and I tend to subscribe to that as well. The way I look at it, if the flower is facing up, that's where the sun's going to be. So I'm not, I don't know how light works. I mean, I know when it's light outside and when it's not, but I'm just going with the gut here. And the thing is that as long as you just have a little light and have a little dark, it's just going to be interesting. It's going to add depth. Now here with the light lilac, again, you could break these all up and not have them all be the same color because they're nicely spaced. So if you wanted to have these all be different colors, it would be so easy to do. But I wanted to represent the three analogous colors for this design, and so it made sense to do all three of these together. The medium lilac creates such a beautiful depth over the light lilac, and I love this tone and how it's coming together. And again, here I'm shifting where the light's coming from. Now it's coming from over by the left. So, there's suns floating around here in my studio as well. But look at how pretty that is. Love it. I'm cleaning off my stencils with a little bit of alcohol in between just to make it easy, and then they dry instantly and you can put them away. Here with this blue sky, I am going very light with this. And I think that's something that the more you practice ink blending, the more you can get a feel for something and making it darker or lighter, depending on what you're going for. But here, I would have never thought about bringing in blue raspberry until today. I thought, I'm going to see what it looks like. As soon as that ink went down in my mind, well, probably out loud because I didn't save the audio for this, I was like, oh my gosh, this looks so good. I got kind of excited because it really is a beautiful pairing, and look at how pretty that is. Then, last but not least, the final stencil are the leaves, and I'll come in here with the jelly bean green, which is one of my favorite for leaves, and then to add the depth, I'll use fresh asparagus. I love this combo. I use it all the time. And with the small heads, it's easy to get that little bit of depth at the base of each leaf. Also, the way the stencil's designed, it makes it easy to do. You don't have to worry about hitting the top of another leaf because they really are paired together in such a way that make this easy to add that depth at the base. I love that when it happens that way in a stencil, that you don't have to do any masking. You know what I mean? Oh, love it. And here we go. Even though we were sped up to 300%, it does come together really quickly. Look at that beautiful shine and that beautiful blend. And now what I will do is I will do a few more of these off camera. I probably do, you know what, maybe I should do some in pink just so I have a few more that I could stick into my bouquet and kind of tie it all in together. Maybe I'll do one in pink, two in pink, and one in the blue. You'll know when I come back, and then we'll cut these out. I've got my intercut machine here, and I have it set to die cut, and the tension is just set to 0 because the polyglaze is pretty easy to cut through. I decided just to do 2 more of these. That way there are 3 blues, 3 purples, and 3 pink elements. And I will put my low-tack tape on again, just because I always hedge my bets on not having it slip, even though the magnet is nice to hold it. Gosh, I love these colors. I've never done blue raspberry with blue sky. Well, blue sky is a new color. Also, too, when you're taping, just make sure that you're careful where the tape goes, because you could, if you tape over foil, you could lift the foil with tape. All right, let's go like this. Pop that in, and I'll put my top plate on, and we'll run this through. You know what? I might need to move I have so little space here on my desk. All right, let's go through. I hope it doesn't hit my computer. Well, we'll see. We're getting there. Oh, it's gonna come right underneath. There we go. Let's just lift the whole thing. Okay, there we go. There we go. And now, oh, get that tape. It's looking like it's wanting to sit right on top of my cardstock. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Yes. And that, my friends, is beautiful. Okay, I will cut the other flowers out and then the greeting as well, which I forgot about because it's here somewhere. And then we'll design a card. Now that I have my pieces, I'm going to try something I've never tried before. And that, my friends, is a fancy fold. Now this is 8.5 by 5.5. And I'm pretty sure that these little dots on the score buddy give me what I need. So here it is 2. Let's come down just a little. 2 1/8. Okay, so I'm going to score that line right there. All right. And then I could flip it and do the same, or I could just come up to 6 1/8, 2/8, 3/8. Oh my gosh. I mean, I think that's why those are there. I don't know. We're going to find out. Okay, so we're going to do score lines like that. So now I have, well, they're not even showing up, but they're here. I have 2 score lines. I've never done a fancy fold. I watch my friend Gina do them all the time. This might not be right, but we're going to fold this down here. Okay, and I'm going to take Teflon bone folder and give this a really nice press. Oh my, I think this might work. Okay, coming on in. Then we do the other one, coming around. Oh, that does work. Look at that. Okay, and we're going to press that down too. So now, did I fold that right? I did. I mean, so it's overlapping a tiny bit. It's not quite meeting in the middle like it should, but that's because this looks a little off. Well, either way, what I was thinking was, what if I put my card here and glue this so that it opens like that? What if I did that? Wouldn't that be cute? I don't even know how you would adhere things, but then I could put my greeting, you know, on top here as well. I mean, I could do it, although why is it a little off? I feel like I'm going to have to trim this a little bit. Let me take just a sliver off. You know, you can't do everything right the first time, and so I kind of feel like We're gonna make this work. It literally just needs to be a sliver like that. See how small that is? And now it's a little better. It's a little closer. It's still, it's still a little off. And then I feel like I should go like, no, that's better. Okay, come in here. I'm just gonna take a little off here so that it's even. I think that worked. Okay. Okay, just takes a little messing around. All right, so take my slivers out of the way. Again, I am going to give that a very nice press. And I probably will, because this is the heavy base weight cardstock, I'm going to need to tape this while I'm working on it, because otherwise it's going to pop up and it's going to drive me cuckoo. Okay. Fancy folds, I tell ya. All right, one there. Hold that down. And yeah, I think that will be okay. And then I'm going to hold the other one down. This is not what I was expecting to do, but I thought, you know, what could I do today to try something new? I love trying new things. And this is a fancy fold. So what I thought I would do, and that way I'm not going to pop this up or anything. I'm just going to glue it on one side, and look at that. It fits perfectly in here. But I have to remember, don't glue on the other side. So how do I do that? I guess I could flip it and just put glue over here. Wish me luck. Wish me luck, friends, because you know, I gotta try different things sometimes, and I want this to be right where it needs to be. As long as most of it is held, that it won't really matter if it doesn't go all the way to the edge, I guess is what I'm saying. So we'll just do that. Let's put it down. Oh, except that I did do it at an angle. Oh, Cathy, were you paying attention? Well, let's see. We'll give it a try. I'm going to pop this here, and hopefully that is going to still allow it to move freely. Yep, I'm going to open that. I don't think there's any glue over here other than a little bit right there that I'll wipe off. So that now when I close it, look at me. Okay, let's pop that back down so we can finish out the card. And now I will grab my tweezers. Let's find the clean ones. I'm going to put a little liquid on here just so I can wiggle this into place where I want to see it. Okay, so it'll be right here, popped up, off to the side a little, kind of like that. Because then it will open. It will open with this, you know, it won't be stuck down like that. Oh, I think that is so cool. Okay. And again, I would have used these if I had, and there still might be a way to, no, I'm trying to make fetch happen, and I don't think fetch wants to happen here today. You know what I mean? Like I could glue those on, but I think this is pretty by itself. If you had a bigger card though, these are gorgeous. And again, I could stick one on the inside. All right, let's embellish this just a little bit to finish out this card. I am the proud owner of both the Gina K Pearl Mix and the Mini Pearl Mix. So now I have as many minis as I could ever want, but I also have the main mix. True story, when I was putting these in, I flipped the case and these went everywhere in my studio, and it was hilarious, and I might have made a squeal noise. And Dan wondered what was wrong, and I said, listen, you don't understand. So let's pop these into the boop dish. I know Gina keeps hers in a nice bowl. I'm just gonna drop some in because I just want the silver, and I do love that there's a whole mix of them. So let's figure out, I'm gonna probably have to hold this down a little bit. I just want to have a few. I'm going to keep all of the pearls on the part that opens up. Well, I guess it all opens up. So what am I saying? I could do it over here too. Come here now. All right. But I like when we're able to frame a trail around the greeting. So I'm holding this down just so it doesn't pop up. And now, oh, I'm gonna, you know what? That's why you have a magnet, Cathy Z. Oh my gosh. I never think to use them for what their purpose is. Yeah, I can just do that. Beautiful. I couldn't figure out how I was gonna do this with all the hands. Let's do this. Wait, I'm right-handed? Okay. Okay. We're gonna pick up our pearl like that. And boop, boop, boop. Oh, flip it. Come on now, get back to where you need to be. And boop. And one just nestles right in that little opening there. Boop. And that is my finished card project. I could put the flowers on the inside, but let's just let that sit for a second. And I have just done my very first fancy fold card. And I wasn't even planning to do that today, but this will fit beautifully in an envelope. And now look, when I open it, undo the tape, it's got that free edge. And yeah, you know, if I just put a couple, I could put one of these down in the bottom. That would be really, wouldn't that be cute if you opened it up and there were, would we want to do two? What if I did one coming from the down and one coming from the up? I mean, that could be cute just to have those in there. I'm going to think that through. I'll let you know. But in the meantime, I am very proud of how this came out. So that is the finished card project for today with the bundle and that beautiful bit of, let's see if we can get it to, with that paw, there it is. There it is. Look at that shine. It's so pretty. All right, let's do a quick design review. So again, what we have here for our color scheme is an analogous palette, and that just simply means colors that sit next to one another on the color wheel. Now, of course, I'm stretching it a bit here with the red violet, but I do think that the medium orchid and light orchid definitely have that red violet tones. So when you use colors that follow one another on a color wheel, you're going to create something that is very harmonious. We also have repetition in our color. 1, 2, 3 here, 1, 2, 3 here, and a single. Part of why I had done my 2 extra flowers was so that I could have more repetition. But in the end, I didn't feel like filling it in where I wanted it to be. So that would have been an option for a larger card as well. We have our silver, right? We've got our foil here, repeating both on the images and on the greeting. And we have 5 little silver beads running down as well. There's nice framing white space all the way around to the edge of this, really allowing that bloom to be beautiful and breathe in the space. And that wraps up the design review for this card. I forgot to show you the bonus card that I made with that piece of foil. Isn't that cool? So I just made a simple design. This is all silver and just one big neutral, beautiful card, but isn't that elegant? And that is using the leftover foil from this card here. So waste not, want not. You can always get a twofer out of any of the polyglaze pieces if you have the polyglaze sheets. So check that out as well. And again, lots of white space, little bits of repetition, all silver and shiny. All right, now we're done. You can find links to all of the products I used in today's video in the YouTube description box. I'll also have a link to a blog post as well if you'd like to see some more photos and see the complete supply list there as well. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you, so please hit that subscribe button and be sure to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss the next time I post. Here is another video using some of Gina's stenciling and foil products, linked here if you want to see more of this style of card. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.